Good evening everyone and welcome here to Silverstone for the Formula 3s in our lovely club event tonight. And don't worry, we are not alone. I'm about to go across into TeamSpeak where our lovely commentator Jim will be joining us as usual. Let's go and head across then.
Yeah,
hello everyone, we are live.
Hello!
Hey.
Yo, Mandingos!
Mandingo! Is that our new greeting? Who's come up with
Yo.
Mandingo?
Yeah, so new Guernsey name.
New Guernsey thing, is it? How you doing, Joe? You okay?
Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you doing tonight then, Jim?
Oh, I'm pretty good, pretty good. I'll be joining Joe. You probably mentioned all this. I've been able to hear you, Joe, but yes, I'm in the booth with Joe, our private booth tonight. He's the streamer. I'm the assistant. And how many have we got signed up tonight? I don't even know.
I believe we have 19 drivers.
Oh, not too bad.
Yeah, so
hello guys, hello.
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 Hello, we're live on live stream, okay? And we've just started quali.
Yes. Watch out for those naughty words. And wish Theo would turn his personal satisfying device off.
He's had it on for a while. I'm surprised it's out of battery yet.
Yeah, he's got some sort of electrical thing going on, I think. But it's okay. We're not.
Is it me?
Yeah, but
What's
Yeah, it's
okay.
alright. It's not.
it's
yeah.
okay. We can
okay.
hear you over it. It's no big. I'm only winding you up.
and if I turn it off?
No, it's.
But no, it's not. It's not. I'm not saying you're constantly broadcasting. Not at all. That's not what I'm saying here. Joe, we've got 15 minutes of quali, and then a 45-minute race.
Yes, a 45-minute race. It's quite a long race to what I'm used to racing anyway. When I used to racing these cars a while back, I normally only did half an hour. And then I got out of the car and it was a nice relaxing sort of end to the day. But now it's a little bit more... It's a little bit more stressful for drivers. 45 minutes of racing, one pit stop. It's a lot of fun.
It's only for the hardcore. And wasn't there a song about that? Only for the hardcore UK raver, or maybe race department club driver. Sure.
Go on then, sing it.
No, a little bit beyond my years, I think. Okay, well, I was having a quick word with the drivers earlier, Joe, and they said I think 54 was a very respectable time. A 1 minute 54, a 1:53 would be the alien range. So
Leave me alone. Leave
we'll
me
have to see
alone.
what they do. I'm watching Craig at the moment. Don't know who you're watching, Joe, but Craig's just gone across the start finish line. I think. No, he hasn't.
That's the old start finish line, Jim.
Oh, okay, that'll be why I'm easily confused. But,
It's like,
Yeah.
Just remember, Jim, they've changed Silverstone a little bit over the years, you know?
have they? Okay. Well, because the only game I really drive is Automobilista, and because it is a mod in Automobilista, it is a Patrick mod, isn't it? Patrick Durant on mod.
Yeah.
Really nice mod. Anybody who knows Automobilista will know that Patrick mods are really nice indeed. Fully upgraded to the latest AMS standards with the the track rubbering in marbles on the offline parts of the circuit. But yeah, very nice track indeed. Who we're going to go for following then? I'm trying to work out where the start finish line is. I think Mr. Patterson is approaching it. Maybe I've got it right this time.
That is right, that is the correct start finish line this time. As heads down up to turn number 1 then, Craig's going to be trying to get in a fast lap time absolutely immediately in this session, pushing it at full 6th gear through the first couple of corners, and now heading down into turn number 3, getting all the way down into gear number 2 there. As he gets it back up to 3 and then gears it back down into 2. I've realised that actually I normally run gear 1 through there, but most of the drivers running gear 2 through that beginning section of corners. Heading out onto the long straight, then heading up towards Brooklands. Up to gear number 6 goes Craig as he heads down up towards Brooklands. Coming under braking. Oh, sorry, yes, Jim, go on.
I was going to say, you're showing your expertise there, Joe, because I have no knowledge of colour names whatsoever, but yeah, that was some knowledge of the track there from Joe. I think Manos Papin-Joe has just set the fastest lap. I would expect that maybe to be beaten, although it is a low 1:54 time, 1:54.2 for Manos, pole position for him at the moment.
Yes, as Craig needs to keep himself together here, as he's also got Simon Patterson, his father, watching him tonight. So he's got to make sure he keeps it all together.
Hey, Mr. Patterson. I should get myself onto the chat room, shouldn't I? Let me get those loaded up whilst you do the commentary, Joe.
So Kyle Craig goes completely wrong there through the Maggots and Beckett's complex, and he cuts the corner in the end, so that's going to be an invalidated lap for Craig. As currently we've got 9 people putting in a lap time. 10 people as a couple of other drivers go across the line. Papangelo though at the top of that timing sheet. And then it's Spirichub in second position at the moment. We've got 3 Legales in tonight once more. Paul Legale, Matt Legale, Steve Legale. I'm not going to be able to keep track of which one is which, I am sure, throughout most of this race.
They have different names, I think that's the way.
Oh, you can't God, the cheeky driver. They've got no respect, have they, Joe? It's just, I don't know.
It doesn't help that they're in the same cars. Paul, shall I say.
Paul.
But Craig hasn't said the time yet. Did Craig maybe...
I think he cut the track when he went off at Maggots and Beckett, so he's had to continue on here. Just trying to find someone else coming up to the line now. I cannot find anyone coming up to the new start-finish line, but loads coming up to the old one.
Right, I'm hoping I've got my restream chat up and running, so I can see all the messages. Says we've got, well, how many people do you think we've got viewing, Joe? I say, it says 7 million for me. I don't know if that's accurate or not.
That is the same for me.
Ah, maybe it's working properly then. Right, let me say hello to everybody.
Can you find anyone on the track, by the way, Jim? I can't find anyone coming up to the line.
Let's see who's out there on the track. My Dinhard overlay is working properly at the moment. 6th place, I think he's just come across the line. That's Dan O'Neill, so he'll hopefully be heading out for a fast lap. Round turn 1. I'm not going to be able to impress you with the corner names like Joseph was, but he'll be into the braking zone for the right-hander, down to 2nd gear, gets it tucked in nicely over the curbs, hitting the apex, then to the, I think, the tightest corner on the circuit. Not quite as maybe close to the apex as he would have wanted, but nonetheless it looked fairly tidy. The back end kept under control as he left that corner. So coming up to the end of the first sector split for Dan O'Neill, let's see what his time is. It's in green, so it's an improvement over his personal best, and that is 0.15 of a second down over the fastest first sector, presumably set by Manos, who is still in pole position at the moment. Jean-Pierre just taking a little detour around Matt Legale, I think that was Jean-Pierre, and a few, about 100 metres ahead of Dan O'Neill. Dan now moved down into 7th place as somebody has improved their lap time.
Me.
Might see who that was. Craig Patterson, he set a time, so in 2nd place, don't know the grid, but Craig Patterson. Now into the very fast sweeping corners. What's this section called? Joe, help me out.
This is a Maggots and Beckett's complex.
Ah, thank you very much. So Maggots and Beckett's 2nd sector split approaching any moment. 127.62 is the target. What does Dan achieve? That's pretty good. 121.007. Very nice indeed. Just 2 tenths down of the fastest split. If he can keep this pace going, that would probably put him in 3rd place, I would think. Might just be starting to pick up the slightest slipstream from Jean-Pierre Bear, who's just ahead. Unfortunately, there'll be no hold up, only advantage gained by Dan if he is able to tuck into that slipstream. So here comes the time, over the line any moment now. Wow, that is a pretty good time. Dan O'Neill in 4th place, just 500ths out of 3rd place. Olivier Lewis in 3rd, Dan O'Neill in 4th. Very nice lap, Dan. Well done, sir.
Cheers, mate.
7th place, Matt Legale just crossed the line. Joe, if you want to take a lap with him, sir.
Yeah, Matt Legale just coming out of the first couple of corners there and into turn number 3 now. He's got Steve Kenwood just up the road, so hopefully that won't be too much of a distraction to Legale here. Oh, as he spins around, actually coming out of that first complex of corners, so Matt Legale continues around and onto the straight. He's going to try and keep the speed up here. Currently sitting in 7th position, 8 tenths off of Manos Papangelo's time. Coming up to Brooklands, breaks at the 50-metre board and turns in. It's a little bit deep though, and he runs it slightly over the apex. Gets it in through the right-hander now. Keep it as tight as he can, runs it to the edge of the circuit on the exit, heading up to the old pit straight now. As we're heading up to just 5 minutes left in the session. Tuck through it, stay the in 6th gear actually. That's a flat out corner there, I did not realise. Matt Nagallo running through. That's about 230. Now coming through the Max and Beckett's complex. Again keeps the foot flat out, and now coming through, breaking it down into gear number 4. Swings it through the exit of the section 1, slightly onto the grass. He's going to head on to the final straight, heading up to the final few corners. Keep it to the left-hand side of the circuit, gears it down into gear 4 as he swings it into the right hand and out to the final few corners now. I believe this is club. Down to gear 2, swings it to the left, to the right, up to the final few corners. And now comes up to the line. Is it going to be an improvement on the 154.2? No, it's not. It's a 155.1, 9/10 down on his time.
Indeed, I'm not sure which corner it was, Joe, that was flat out. I think it was the end of the back
Old
straight.
first corner.
Yes, the old first corner.
Thank you. Yeah,
And
I've
the
not
first corner.
seen anybody else taking that flat out now. That may just be down to my lack of observation skills. I don't know, but that seemed very quick. I mean, Matt, I think you're still on a hot lap, so we won't disturb you with questions.
No,
but
I'm back in the pits.
are you? So that old first corner then, I mean, is that literally
It's
pinpoint accuracy
from-
to take it flat out, or are you
From
lifting
the
ever so slightly?
no, it's sound.
It's easy.
It's
Oh, it's easy.
from the
Okay.
out of the old last corner,
Luffield.
pinned through from there through what was the old first corner, and then all the way flat through Maggots and Beckett's, and then you're down to 5th for the. I don't know what the left-hander is after that, but
Well, I'm going to play you probably not a compliment and say that you made it look harder than it is then. because I thought that you were doing some excellent driving there, taking it out in 6th gear, but now you've just told us it's a piece of cake.
I should have
Walk in the
taken the
park.
compliment, shouldn't I?
Indeed, you should have done. So I'm keeping an eye at the moment. He's nowhere near the start-finish line, Joe. But you know who my favourite driver is. Everybody knows who my favourite driver and ballet dancer is. That's right, Tuomas Lankinen. He's in 9th place at the moment. He is only just into the 2nd sector, and I think this is an out lap for Tuomas. I've been keeping an eye on his icon, and it's only just left the pits. But 10th place, Jean-Pierre Perez is just heading over the line, but I think he's just out of the pits. 5th place, I think maybe is a good one to watch. Alexei Spirichev is approaching the 2nd sector. So yeah, as he turns in, Din has just given me an update on my screen. He's at 1/10 down off the fastest first sector split rather, and it was in green for my screen, which means that Alexei Spirichev has set a new personal best for the first sector. He is now approaching the old first corner, that one we were just discussing. Let's see if Alexei is also able to take that completely flat out. Yes, he does indeed. Alexei made it look really easy, Matt, whereas you made it look really difficult. But Alexei, nonetheless, takes that flat out into the sequence of corners. What was that? Beckett's and something or other.
Maggots and Beckett's.
Maggots and Beckett's. Thank you, Joe. Joe helping me out on the technical details there. Oh, he's improved. He's now 1/10 down off the fastest time at the end of the 2nd sector. This looks like a really, really good lap from Alexei. Can he keep that 3rd sector going, keep that momentum run through? Took a lot of curb on that corner, backing off the throttle, but nonetheless seemed to be pretty quick. Braking into the final chicane, plenty of curb on the outside, perfect on the apex on the first part. That looks incredibly tidy to me. This could be few places improvement, maybe 1, maybe 2. If Alexei has managed to keep that momentum going, let's see. He does indeed. We caught most of that lap. A pleasure to see that, Alexei. 3rd place now for Alexei Spirichev. It is really close at the top, Joe. I haven't seen it this close right at the top of the field for quite some time.
Yeah, extremely close. The top 5 separated by just 0.2 of a second, and the top 8 separated by just a second. I think this is going to be a very interesting race, and I don't think it's going to really stop battling throughout most of this race, with times quite close throughout the entire field, because you've also got Pierre and Ali Ferry rather close as well, 0.2 as well. Then Ferry's extremely close to Johnny Stratos, and that's all in the midfield part of this course.
Well, I have chosen to tune into my favourite driver. That's Tuomas Lankinen as he comes through the Beckett's and Maggots section. This is a flying lap for Tuomas. He definitely has room for improvement. He's on a 155.392. Car getting a little ragged there. They came through those fast left, right, left sequence that is Maggots and Beckett's. Is that the right name? No. Beckett's and Maggots.
You're a bit of a muffled model there.
Honestly, yes.
I'd say you're making it look difficult.
Indeed. Thank you. Touche. Indeed, my Holton Pills is coming into its own at the moment. But yes, Tuomas Lankinen, 10th place. Top 10 start is always nice, but I think Tuomas will be hoping to improve. There's just 7 seconds on the clock. He will be one of the last drivers to get another last-ditch attempt. Is he going to do it? He does. He gets one more lap. Literally, the clock was on 0 on my screen. He's improved. He's up into 7th place, and he gets another last-ditched attempt. Literally, as that clock hit the 0:00 mark. But we didn't make the apex air. Took so much speed. Oh, and I may put Tuomas off. I hope I didn't. If he was listening. Oh, and a celebratory spin. Thank you, Tuomas. The ballet was perfect. But yes, Tuomas Lankinen up to 7th place. He would have got another chance, but unfortunately took too much speed into one of the corners there. Anybody else out on the track, Joe? You've got your eyes on.
I'm currently watching Craig Patterson to see if he can improve in the final stages here. As he coming through onto the old pit straight.
There's just 2 tenths you need, and that was sneaking into, well, he's front row already, which is obviously very respectable indeed, but 2 tenths would put him in the pole position.
Just as he keeps it flat out and again makes it very easy through that old turn number 1. Coming through the Maggots and Beckett's complex now. Is he going to keep it flat out? Yes, he does. What's he going to gear down to? Down to 5. Into gear 4 and keeps it much smoother than what we saw Matt Legale do through there earlier. No offence, Matt.
Cheers, Joe.
And that's the fastest running currently by Craig. He's running the fastest first couple of sectors now as he heads into the final corners. Will he be able to improve? This is going to be his final chance as he comes through now up towards Club. He keeps his foot in. Will he keep the car on the track and will he keep it smooth enough to go on to pole? Very nice couple of corners there. Now up to the final corner. And then we're going to see if he is able to improve. Is it going to be a pole position lap? Yes, it is on the line. Amazing.
Under pressure, Craig. Well done, sir. Congratulations, Craig.
Oh, God.
Well done, mate. Did you have a
Almost
muted, or
got
did
it.
you do that under the pressure of commentary as well, Craig?
I did that under the pressure of muting myself.
Okay, yourself. Well done, sir. Well done.
Yeah, Craig.
Nice one, mate.
Craig, sorry, Joe, do you want to have
Does it
an
5-minute
attempt
warm-up?
at the standings? 3 minutes normally. set
3
to
minutes,
default.
okay.
Joe, do you wanna get
I
the
think I'm
standings?
going to leave it to you, Jim. You do really well, and I don't want to butcher
Yeah,
names.
I know. So Craig Patterson, he, well, the server's just rolled over, so I haven't actually got the times, but he set that startling lap right at the end there to steal the pole position off Manos Papangelou. So
Sorry, Manos.
front row of the grid,
It's alright.
Craig and Manos.
Didn't I improve like I could improve like 2 tenths, but I didn't.
Alexei Svuchev takes 3rd place, Olivier Lewis in 4th, Dan O'Neill. We saw that lap from him. I think it was the fastest one he managed to set. 5th place for Dan O'Neill. The first of the Legale clan, Paul Legale there in 6th place. My favourite ballet dancer out there tonight, Tuomas Lankinen in 7th. Bart Zverink in 8th place, Johnny Staffiros in 9th. Matt Legale there in 10th place. 10, always nice to achieve. Theo van der Brink in 11th, Jean-Pierre Père. Ali Ferry's with us tonight. She's in 13th place. Well done, Ali. Ronnie Van Rouge. Ronnie's in 14th. Steve. The senior Legale. The most responsible of all the Legales out there, the gentleman driver. He's there in.
I'm the daddy.
he's the daddy. The daddy indeed. The daddy's in 15th place. Steve Kenwood there in 16th. So Steve's there close together, side by side. Ludberto in 17th. Franz van der Linden in 18th. Dennis Phelan is with us tonight. Dennis in 19th place. And then you've got the commentators, Joseph and myself, and Sven Arne, I think, was a late join to the server. I saw a few file conflicts, so he was just having to download the track, I suspect. But Sven is there at the back of the grid. Hopefully he will see some improvement once the race gets started. We've got 2.5 minutes of time to fill, Joe. What shall we do?
I am going to quickly say a bit of annoying people here. This Saturday, we're actually running this circuit, Silverstone. In the evening, we'll be running the Grand Prix Championship in the IndyCar. So we've got actually a number of drivers from tonight are going to be taking part in that, including myself, Matt Legale and Steve Legale. So we're all looking forward to that, I'm sure. I just wanted to let you all know, and that will be at about 7:30.
Yeah,
Sorry,
don't forget
7:30.
Joseph.
Pardon?
Don't forget Ali.
Oh
Ali
yes,
Berry.
of course, Ali
be
Berry
there.
as well will be there as well. So yes, I just wanted to put that out there now. This weekend we have the Silverstone circuit running once more.
I was just having a quick chat with Simon Patterson in the YouTube chat. I think he's on. Craig, maybe he'll be able to background info. You're going to be in the drivers' lounge, the British GP.
Yes,
correct?
it's just a hospitality thing. I'm not going to be sipping champagne with all the drivers. Don't
Oh,
think that, no.
well, that would be nonetheless, regardless of whether you get champagne with the drivers or not. That would be extra nice. I'm sure
Yes.
that'll be a nice experience. Have you managed to do that before? Being the
Yes.
first time? Oh, you have.
That'll be my 3rd year I've done it.
Oh, well, a regular occasion. Well, congratulations on getting the invite. Well done.
Thank you.
I've been to the only F1 event I've ever done, and that was in the, I can't remember the exact year, but that was my father's birthday, and that was in the Schumacher and Damon Hill era, and that was a really amazing event when the engines were incredibly loud. I'd never realised how loud they were live. But yeah,
We're losing your commentary, Jim. You're
Yeah.
breaking up a little bit, buddy.
I'm breaking up. Oh,
Yeah.
any better?
That's better.
Yes,
yeah.
That's
yes.
better.
Now
Okay.
we can hear you.
Hopefully
Loud
it'll
and
be
clear.
better. I was just saying, yes, the only time I saw the F1 event, if that was all crackling and didn't come through, I went and saw Michael Schumacher in the Schumacher and Damon Hill era. I saw the F1 at Silverstone, only an F1 event I've been lucky enough to see, but that was an awesome event. Yeah, I guess I mean, having not been to very many, having only been to one, I guess the lack of engine volume, which I hear they're not very loud now, is a bit of a shame compared to what they used to be like.
It's all right. I'm used to it now. You just have to get used to it.
Well, there's plenty of changes afoot, isn't there? I don't
Yeah.
follow it nearly enough to be able to comment much on it, but I know that the new managers and owners of F1 are looking to spice things up a little bit and get fan involvement and interaction a lot higher up the agenda.
They also want more rounds, I hear.
Ah.
25 or something.
Is it about every 2 weeks at the moment or less? I guess, I mean, to fit that many rounds,
They
I
do
guess it's
20
probably
rounds
less.
at the moment.
Yes.
They want to move up to 25.
We've got a 2-week
Good luck,
break.
everyone.
Good luck, everyone.
Good luck, guys.
There's a formation
Look.
lap, I take it.
Yeah, good luck, everybody.
There
Yes.
should indeed be a formation lap. Yes, formation
yeah,
lap.
good luck, guys.
Standing start. It's a 45-minute race tonight, Joe. The guys will be having to make pit stops. And last week's event that really did mix things up significantly when all the pit strategies started to play out. I think Craig was the main person to really capitalise on a good pit stop. The damage tonight is just 35%. They've got to be careful, but a little bit of contact and they should still survive. Other than that, it's all the standard sort of settings. The track will rubber in. In fact, has been rubbering in since practice. So yeah, should be pretty good now. Just 15 seconds on the clock. Joe, who are the drivers to watch for you tonight, sir?
Obviously up front, you've got Craig Patterson, Manus Papangelo. There's no way to count those guys out. Slightly further down, also Dan O'Neill is another driver to really be one to maybe take a win here tonight. And further down the order, we're going to see some battles, maybe top 10s, Matt Legale, Theo, Ali Ferry as well. Steve Legale, he normally is able to capitalise on other issues, and he's able to get up into a top 10 through most events as well.
Steve is a fighter, Steve Legale. I don't think I've ever seen Steve Legale quit an event. Not even for Dan, to be honest.
I'm not a fighter, I'm a lover.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's exactly what she said.
I think, given how big the Legale clan, I think there's plenty of evidence for that, Steve. So yes, indeed, he's a lover, not a fighter. But yes, yeah, I think I agree with you, Joe. There's a lot of people to watch tonight. I bet none of you can guess who I'll be keeping my eyes on.
Ballet.
Don't tell Thomas.
Sven.
My favourite driver, Thomas. He, I have to say, I hope it doesn't offend Thomas. He is rarely at the real top leagues of the qualifying session. That doesn't mean he's not a good driver. It just means he doesn't have the single lap pace that maybe some of the other drivers do. But the reason why Thomas gets
Single lap
such a
back.
high,
I
indeed,
had no practice at all.
no practice, in race practice, that's what we like. But the reason why I like to watch Thomas is because, as I say, he qualifies well, but not in the upper echelons right at the top. But that means we often see him fighting through the races, through the drivers rather, as he fights his way up the field. And the battles that he often gets involved with are almost always clean and exciting to watch. So I will keep my eyes on him. But yeah, there's plenty of names there. Ali Ferry, I'll be interested to see how she does tonight. She's racing in the Caterhams early this week, and I myself was getting into a little battle with her. Unfortunately, it ended with the spin off the track, but nonetheless, that was good whilst it lasted. So yeah, should be a nice battle. Jean-Pierre Pere in 12th place. Maybe would have thought he'd have been slightly higher, so that might be another name to watch as well.
Yeah, again, a lot of names tonight that really have a chance of getting a top position. And it's really nice actually to see so many competitive drivers in one field, because we can see such good racing, such close racing throughout the entire night.
Now, Joe, I'm going to let you handle the start because when it's hectic right at the start, Joe's our cameraman and primary commentator tonight, so he'll be in charge of the cameras early on, and it'll be a little bit too crazy for me to be trying to tell you information when that light goes green, because he'll know what his camera is pointing at. So he's going to take over as the drivers just start to form up there. Craig Patterson, front row of the grid for him. He's in his spot already. Manos is there in the blue. Alexei Spuchev just behind. Olivier Lewis in the distinctive black with red highlights, as is Dan O'Neill.
Good luck.
Hang on, Joe.
Yeah,
good luck, everybody.
Good luck.
Yeah, the lights are counting up now, and then we're going to get away. And we are green, and all the drivers seem to have a very nice start. A number of drivers actually spinning their tyres quite a lot off the lines. We head into turn number 1. Papangello's going to try and get the lead. There's a little bit of contact with our leaders. Craig Patterson's forced out wide, but he's going to stay attacking for that lead here as Papangello tries back up the inside into turn number 3. And it looks like Patterson's able to hold it, and there's a spin behind, a big spin behind, and a couple of drivers involved. Dan O'Neill and Alexei Spirichev there, both off. And there's another spin. Bart's rear wing has been collected, and there's a huge pile up at the exit of turn number 4. Hopefully drivers will stay out of the way of that now that they know that is there. Everyone else seems to be getting going once again, though. And our big winner on the start then, Papangello up into the lead, but he's got Craig Patterson hounding him all over the rear. There's a little bit of a gap down to 3rd position, and 4th position actually, and then the rest of the field coming in behind after the few incidents on the first couple of corners.
So Manos Papangello, he has been the main benefactor there up into the lead, but Craig Patterson is not going to let him keep hold of that if he has anything to do with it. A little bit of a gap, slight gap opened up to Craig, will have maybe started to drop out of the slipstream. Be interesting to see whether that's down to different car setups or what as the race progresses. But the battle further behind, that's Olivier Lewis and Paul Legale. That seems to be heating up quite a bit at the moment. So yeah, Paul Legale tucked under the rear wing of Olivier Lewis. So he's going to pull to the outside. I think it was at the inside. No, the inside for the next corner. And he makes it count on the brakes. He's got the title line, so Olivier Lewis might try the over and under, but I don't know, it's not going to work. So we'll be into the braking zone as we head back towards that start-finish straight. But Paul Legale's made that move count. A really nice overtake there from Paul up into 3rd place. Up at front, I think it's heating up front. Joe, if you want to switch the camera over and do some commentary.
Yeah, Craig's got right over the rear of Papangello once more. A little bit of a dive to the inside that moves to the outside into turn number 1. Has to stay behind at the moment, but he's really letting Papangello know that he is still over his rear. As we come up to turn number 3, he's going to have to sit it in behind, but he's definitely looking forward towards Papangello, maybe looking for a way through in the opening stages to get back into the lead. Further down your order, Spirichev looking to get back up the order here. He's sitting in 7th at the moment after the turn 3 incident last lap. He's just got past Ali Ferry sitting in 8th position, as there's a little bit of a yellow flag behind, so I'm sure there is a spin somewhere. Yes, it is Anderson spinning at the rear of the field, which unfortunately isn't good for him, but we've still got a number of battles going on through most of the field at the moment. As we head down to the old turn 1, and that was Thomas Lankinen trying to get up to P number 4 past Lewis here. He's going to have to... Oh, something. Is that P number 4? Oh, wow, they've been able to get up... Lankinen, sorry, has been able to get up immediately at the start of this race. I did not realise he's already up into P number 5. An amazing start for Thomas Lankinen. Like Jim was saying, he definitely isn't the fastest on single lap pace, but come to the race, he definitely shows his stuff, and up to 5th already, looking to catch up to P number 4, and even the podium, which isn't too far up the road at all.
Indeed, it was a qualifying in 7th for Thomas, and it is often like ballet dancers to show their stuff. So yes, Thomas Lankinen into 5th place. Inappropriate, sorry guys. But 5th place for Thomas Lankinen from 7th. Olivier Lewis is ahead of him now. Thomas has been putting a little bit of pressure on him, and Olivier has made a mistake there. So Thomas is going to get a run out onto the start-finish straight, tucked into the stream. There's not much of a straight here for Thomas to make the overtake happen. Oh, as soon as he pulled out of the slipstream there, Joe, do you know what I noticed? The momentum pretty much wiped off instantly. I think Thomas is running quite a high wing setup, or at least compared to Olivier Lewis, based on what we saw just there as he popped out of the slipstream of 4th place Olivier down that start-finish straight.
Yeah, high wing setup is definitely needed here at Silverstone to keep the car facing the right direction, and it seems to be working out for most drivers. Thomas Lankinen, though he's dropped off a little bit from Lewis here, he's going to have to try his hardest to get back up on the straights, maybe try and get that slipstream, but he's dropped off quite a lot of time in that opening few corners.
Now, 9th place is Ronnie Van Rouge, and I think he is having a bit of a battle at the moment, just trying to get my own camera on him. Yes, Ronnie Van Rouge, Dan O'Neill. Dan O'Neill's trying to fight his way, I think, back through the grid. Dan Scott, Ali Ferry just ahead. This is a battle for 8th, 9th and 10th place. Just 1 second separating those 3 places as it stands at the moment. And 11th place is Steve Kennedy, not far behind either. Almost a 4-way battle. Steve's looking to close that gap, but he's not quite involved as yet. Ali Ferry then out in the lead of that pack, 8th place for her. Dan O'Neill dropped a little bit back on this faster section. And Ronnie in the orange car there, seemed to gain a little bit of time through Beckett's and Maggots, or Meggetts and Backets, depending on point of view.
Oh God.
We have our first DNF, Sven Arne. Didn't get a lot of practice, and I don't think it's Sven due to his technical issues getting onto the server. So it's a shame. Our first DNF, Sven Arne Anderson, is out. But
So I was just going to say, Steve Legale having a nice little battle with Johnny Stratos here, coming up to the final few corners, trying to find a way through up into 14th position. Can't quite do it at the moment, but coming out of the final few corners, going to try and get his slipstream as much as he can along the very short main straight, but just up ahead, there are a couple of cars going side by side. That's Matt Legale up the inside of Vanderlyn here. Oh, there's contact! There's big contact. Van der Linden's gone completely off into the wall. A huge accident there. He's going to attempt to continue, but that's surely got to be some significant damage, even with the low damage settings.
Hopefully he's kept all his wings, Joe. If you can see his car, I don't know if he's on TeamSpeak, but sometimes it helps drivers to know if they've got all their wings at least on there. Meanwhile, I'm watching the leaders. That's Manos Papangelo and Craig Patterson. They're still battling up front. I haven't seen any or many overtakes attempted yet by Craig Patterson, and maybe that's a good thing, because Paul Legale, he is hovering in the background. He is ready to pounce on his fellow Guernsey man Craig Patterson in second place at the moment. This is rapidly turning into a 3-way battle for the lead. Those first 2 drivers, Manos in the lead, Craig Patterson in second, Paul Legale in third. They are separated by just 7 tenths as it stands at the moment. Olivier Lewis is in fourth, but he is a further second back. I think, it's going to be Paul Legale who's going to be looking for a move on Craig Patterson at the moment. He's got that slipstream down that long straight there as they approach the fast right-hander that leads them into the final chicane and takes them onto the start-finish straight. Craig getting a really nice line through there, maybe eking out another tenth or so. Paul leaving the braking very light. Nice line through there, plenty of curve on the inside, accelerating back out. I'm not not sure if he's quite in the slipstream of Craig. Craig getting a really good exit from that corner, and that gap between the first 3 drivers is still under 1 second as Manos, then Craig, then Paul Legali turn into turn 1. Craig runs wide. He'll have some dirt pick up on his tyres there. This could be an opportunity now for Paul Legali. Craig's got it back under control. Heavy curb there for Paul Legali. Car bumping up onto the big red curbs on the inside. Oh, and a wiggle from the back. Oh no, Paul Legali. Fortunately not collected any of the driver. He's got the car facing the right way and will rejoin. Unfortunate, Paul. I hope that wasn't commentator cursing. Great race there. Sorry, sorry if we distracted you, sir. But yeah, Paul Legali almost able to capitalise on a mistake there by Craig Patterson, but unfortunately the car getting lively as he exited one of the turns.
Oh, nice move then.
What an amazing move there, caught on stream by Dan O'Neill. An amazing move up the inside of Brooklands on Theo Vandenbrink. Just took the tiny little gap that Theo had left up the inside. An amazing move there.
Now further down the field, got Ali Farry, who we've mentioned a couple of times, but she's got Paul Legali. We just saw him have that spin, and he is just tenths behind Ali Farry. Now there's been a recent adjustment to the game in terms of how the downforce or front end grip is lost when you're following closely to another driver.
Yeah, it's difficult.
Well, I believe it's been turned down. In other words, you have
it doesn't feel like on this track.
Doesn't feel like it.
Okay. Pinned around any of the corners when you're behind
right.
someone.
It's horrible.
That's
The
what I was.
commentators have the easiest job.
We have the we just sit here drinking.
Fun.
We just drink Holston pills and get corner names wrong. That's all. That's our main job. Joe does it much more professionally than I do, but there's got to be one professional here at least to cover up for my heinous crimes and mistakes. But it's a good battle there. This is 8th place. Ali Ferry, Paul Legali. Paul looking to try and work his way back up through the grid. Theo Vandenbrink and Dan O'Neill were battling earlier, but Theo is now going to start to feel a little bit of pressure from Ali. This is all over 8th place at the moment. Theo in 7th, 7th place lower. Theo in 7th, Ali in 8th, Paul in 9th. A lock up there. Was that Theo's tyres locking up a little bit there?
Yeah, and locking up again there by Theo.
Under pressure. We don't want to distract drivers. We are in the same TeamSpeak channel as they are on TeamSpeak. It means we get the fun and the banter and the chit chat. But yeah, it takes a little bit of getting used to. You wouldn't think it, guys, but when you're out there on track and you'll know that you're being watched, even though it is only by the 6 million views that we've got at the moment, then it can start to add a little bit of extra pressure. Which you don't always need. Ali Ferry making a little bit of a mistake there, and Paul Legali is closed right up onto the rear wing as they come round to one of the fastest sections of the circuit. So this could be an opportunity now, I think, for Paul Legali. Pulls briefly to the inside, letting Ali know that he's there, but he has to back out as a loss of downforce comes into play, and you can see how much space he's lost there. As he has to back off the throttle just to keep it on track.
Well, too much. Way too much, especially on this track.
Yeah,
it's definitely the worst track that's ever been on for that.
Now, whilst Ali and Paul have been looking at maybe trying to get their position changed, and Paul moving up into 8th place, Ronnie Van Rouge is closing in a little bit as well. So certainly an interesting battle. But Joe, what's going on up front? This is one of the closest races we've had for quite some time. Often we see the leaders disappear into the distance, but not tonight. Manos is putting in some quality laps, but nonetheless, Craig Patterson is still there, just 4 tenths behind. This could all come down to pit stops, Joe. What do you reckon?
Yeah, pit stops are definitely going to bring this, I think. Just matters of whether you can get into that stop and get your tyres changed or your fuel filled up as quickly as you can, really. And I know that in a lot of events before, there's a lot of things happen. Oh, it's Thomas Lankin moves into 3rd and he tries around the outside. Oh, they're side by side here coming up towards Brooklands. This is Lankin and Lewis. Lankin and drops behind, they're into the slipstream, really move up the inside. Yes, he does. He's looking for top 3 here. And he's been able to do it up the inside. Lewis not having been able to hold it around the outside. An amazing move there by Lankin. He's up onto a podium now. As I was saying, it's definitely going to come down to the pit stops, as Jim, you brought up. And yeah, this just shows it. The battling continuing, the top 5 still in one camera shot here. It's absolutely amazing to see. And I've seen in previous events at pit stops, that can change a lot of time. You can either gain a lot of time, you can make a mistake and lose a lot of time. So I think this is going to really be the decider, is when the drivers come in to stop.
Now, one man who is often very quick on the pit stops, we know, is Craig Patterson. He does put a good amount of practicing for these club events, and I would suspect that he will have been practicing the pit stop, because all the drivers will know you have to do a stop with these 45-minute F3 events. There's no getting away from it. You will be stopping. And tyre strategy. I mean, the tyres are really quick in these. I'd be incredibly surprised if anybody doesn't take all 4. It affects your pit stop by less than, I think, a second a tyre. It is really absolutely minimal. Fuel is a bigger factor, but even that's not long to put fuel into these cars. So most drivers, I would suspect, will be running over slightly over half the fuel they need when they left the pits and formed up on that starting line. Something happened to Matt Legale. Yes, DNF for Matt Legale.
Yeah, it's not happening.
Not happening for you tonight. Sorry to hear that, Matt. Come and join us for the Coppers tomorrow. If you fancy a bit of Copper Montana, if you've already signed up.
Can't tomorrow, unfortunately. I'm out.
Okay,
Sorry.
no worries. I'll allow you to have a life outside Automobilista, I guess. It's permitted.
Well, no, actually, I'm already signed up for that, aren't I?
Yes.
How are you? Don't sign out.
No, I can't sign out, really.
Oh, no, you can. No, of course you can. You can sign out if you've got other stuff going on. Automobilista.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Well, thank you for racing tonight. No worries. Thanks for racing tonight, Matt. I'm sorry it didn't work out
No worries.
for you, sir.
It was fun.
The 30 minutes
Good luck
on
with the rest of the race, guys.
Yeah, cheers, buddy.
30 minutes left on the clock. 45-minute race is what we started with. We're a good 7 minutes or so off the halfway point. But I'm wondering if anybody can, if the drivers have done enough strategy work out, Joe, to see where they might come back out after a pit stop, whether they're being clean air or not. Because Craig is very quick. I'm not sure if Manos is holding him up or not. It's certainly very hard to stay in the slipstream of somebody else around the corners. So maybe an early pit stop for any of the drivers? No, Manos. I'm just saying you're getting close to another driver is difficult. Do you think anybody's going to do a really early stop to try and get some clean air or not, Joe?
Really, I don't think an early stop will benefit you, because you're having to add on fuel. If you pit earlier, the more fuel you're going to have to add into your car. It's going to take a little bit longer, and you're going to lose 3 or 4 seconds, and that could mean the difference. Well, with how close the leaders are at the moment, that could mean the difference between first and 4th. So I think you're going to see more drivers going for a later stop than the earlier stop.
Luis, man.
Now, further down the grid, we have a little pack going on. This is 7th place, Theo van der Beek, followed by Ali Ferry once again. Theo managing to open up a little bit of space over Ali. We were looking at those drivers earlier. He's got about a second of breathing space at the moment. And Roddy Van Rouge is in 9th place, close behind Ali. And Paul Legale is kind of also in that block of 4 drivers as it stands at the moment. The leaders are side by side, are they? Yeah, I think they are. Manos running wide. Can he get it back on track? Craig takes the lead. Not sure exactly what the lead up to that was. I didn't quite catch it. I just saw on the track map they were side by side. But Craig Patterson finally manages to take the lead. We'll hope that Manos manages to stick with Craig, because if he does, then we're going to continue with this great battle right at the front of the grid. And I guess one of the big gains from that, other than Craig, obviously, is Thomas Lankan. He is now just 2 seconds off the leader, Craig. He's in 3rd place as Thomas, but 2 seconds between 1st and 3rd. That's not something we've seen for quite a few F3 races.
They're just putting on a show because I'm finally here. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, they're making an effort. You disappoint me, drivers. You normally make no effort at all. But Joe comes along, you don't make any effort apparently. But Joe's here, and you're making an effort tonight. But yes, Craig's out in the lead. He's got that second over Manos at the moment, and then a further second back to Thomas Lankan, and 27 minutes on the clock. I'm just trying to look at the track map to see where any of the closer battles are. There's still that group of drivers, 7th, 8th, 9th and 10th. That's Theo van der Brink, Ali Ferry, Roddy Van Rouge and Paul Legale. Paul had an early incident when he was battling for 5th place, I think it was. May have that not 100% accurate. But Manos is tucked into the rear wing of Craig Patterson once more. It certainly looks like Manos is not going to let Craig just drive away into the sunset. He's got that gap closed down to just half a second. A little attempted overtake there, running wide, but keeps it on the track a few corners ago. And he's lost out to the tune of...
It's so hard to follow in someone's draft because you just lose so much downforce going through the fast corners.
Indeed, that certainly seems to be what we're seeing today. There's, guess, Silverstone, a lot of fast corners on there, so a lot of straights, a lot of fast corners, but yeah, the problem is that a couple of the straights are after fast corners, Joe, aren't they? So getting into that slipstream as you lead onto a straight is incredibly difficult because you haven't got the hairpin or the slow corner beforehand.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to close up as much as what you would hope before a long straight, and that's why we don't see the gaps close up as much as they would at other type of circuits. But here at Silverstone, it's sort of a long playing game. You've got to try and catch up over the course of a couple of laps, and Papangelo's actually just lost out a little bit of time after running wide at the old turn 1, and that's allowed Thomas Lankinen all over the rear now.
Oh yes, my favourite driver, Thomas Lankinen. He's in third place at the moment. He's pushing very hard to try and catch up on that lead pair of drivers. Well, I say catch up, it's not really very accurate, I guess. That gap was 2 seconds covering first to third. It's now just 1.3 seconds. The lead had changed the last lap or so, and the odd mistake by Craig Patterson and Manos as the lead changed hands means that Thomas has picked up another half a second or so. Now, I strongly suspect that Thomas is running a really stable, maybe slightly higher wing setup, which means it's got a lot of stability, a lot of drive through the corners. And I've seen him making a couple of great overtakes, but he's also been able to capitalise on other people's mistakes, and I haven't seen Thomas make any yet. So consistency being a big part of Thomas's race so far today, allowing him to capitalise on other people's mistakes without having to try and push for that overtake where mistakes can happen.
Yeah, and Spirichev actually in fourth is only about a second down, actually, about a second and a half on the long straight. So really the top four is still all within contention, taking the win here. And once the pit stop comes around, we may see a couple of those positions change, and maybe Spirichev might be able to get back onto a podium and get involved in this battle. Just behind that, about 6 seconds down is Lewis, and he's running on his own at the moment, so it's quite a lonely race for him. But the rest of the field actually rather close with at least one other driver.
Well, we're coming into that pit kind of stop window, 24 minutes on the clock. We're not at the halfway point yet, but we're only a minute or two away from it. Trying to see if there's any activity from any of the pit crew. Craig Patterson's pit crew, I mean, he's in the lead. I guess he gets to dictate a little bit of the strategy. It might well be that Manos sees him go in and follows, or maybe Manos will think, great, a lap out by myself, I can really turn up the pace, or try and turn up that pace, and gain a few tenths before he pits himself. Yeah, Craig's pit crew looking like they might be wanting to bring him in from the lead to get fresh tyres and fuel for the second part of the race. Alexei Spirichev, he's in fourth, and there's a little bit of activity in his crew.
I'm actually seeing smoke coming out of the rear of Spirichev along that straight. It's very, very light, but there is some smoke coming out the rear of his car along that straight. He's coming into the pit, so hopefully it will cool down in the pit lane, but it's not looking positive with his engine smoking away already.
Alexei Spirichev in the pitch, as is Manos Papangelo. So that was Alexei in fourth, I believe. Manos Papangelo, who was in second out in. Craig Patterson and Thomas Lankinen, who were first and third, are staying out. Olivier Lewis has pulled in a few spaces behind. I mentioned Olivier, he was at 12th on the grid, and I thought he would improve a little bit. There's Manos and Alexei side by side. A little bit of contact, arguing over that little bit of track space, but fortunately both cars seem to have come out clean. Alexei moving a little bit in the background, clearly not overly happy with that exit there, but friendly fighting, I would call that. That was exciting none the least, and we're going to end up with some great racing there. Both of these guys on cold tyres trying to get some heat in. They're going to have to be careful. The last thing they want to do is end the race for either of themselves with 22 minutes left on the clock. So Manos and Alexei both pitted there in 6th and 7th place. Alexei desperate to try and get into that slipstream, get the tyres all warmed up, and with a little bit of luck, try and make an overtake and move on Manos.
Yeah, it definitely looked like Manos though had cold tyres, obviously, when coming out of that pit box, and his rear end just started to slide, and I don't think he purposely turned across into Spirichev, but Spirichev's now up the inside. Look at the position, there's a big slide there. Luckily, he's been able to hold it. Manos holds the position at the moment for P number 6, but it's a really close battle coming out of that pit lane, and that could mean that they could continue to battle for the lead once Patterson and Lankinen pit.
That seemed to be a really good stop for Alexei. So Manoff was in second place. Alexei, I believe, was in fourth when they came in. There wasn't a massive gap between the two, but it was at least a second and a half, if not two, between second and fourth when they came in. But Alexei and his crew clearly doing a great job at optimising that stop. And well, we saw how close it was as both drivers lit up the tyres literally at the same point. Manos getting slightly more wheel spin and not getting out of that pit box quite as readily as Alexei did. And this is the battle that we have as a result. This is 6th and 7th, 2 tenths separating the two. As they come round, we've got Johnny Statiros just a second and a half further up the track. Johnny yet to pit. Now the leaders, I think, are in the pits. That's Twamus, Lankinen and Craig Patterson. I'm going to watch them, Joe, you...
Yeah, I'm watching Twamus and Patterson next to their pits and hoping that they'll come around, because they are once again rather close. Lankinen's actually got a jump on Patterson, and they're going to come out here. We're going to see how close they are.
Now Ali Ferry's in the lead, Joe. Ali Ferry takes the lead at least for a whole lap. She's yet to pit, but she gets to turn at least a lap as they're battling Craig Patterson and Twamus Lankinen. We reckon that Twamus is running a higher downforce setup. It should mean he's good through the corners and maybe a little bit more stable. Can he make that overtake move? Because as soon as he pulls out of that slipstream, his extra downforce is going to count against him, and he will be slower in the straight line.
Yeah, just like Spirichev, though, he did have that better pit stop, and he's going to go for the overtake now on the outside line through Brooklands. Is he going to be able to do it? If he can hold it there, it's going to come the inside. No, he has to run it wide, and he's going to have to sit it behind for now. But those battles are really close, but the four drivers are actually separated from each other, so the later stop has definitely worked out. Like I said, less fuel will definitely mean a quicker pit stop.
Further back, ever so slightly, Alexei Spirichev and Manoff Papangiolu, they're still battling. This was the first two to pit where we saw...
Spirichev's on fire! On my screen, he was on fire.
I hope... No, he seems to be okay at the moment for me. He's still nose to tail with Alexei and Manoff.
That was very weird. Sorry about that.
No worries, Joe. Occasionally get a bit of lag or something weird happen. But no, Alexei and Manoff still nose to tail. Kind of two battles we've got going on. We've got Ali Ferry, who we must not fail to mention. She's got the lead of the race. Her strategy will hopefully pay out for her. She's got the lead at the moment. Craig Patterson and Twamus Lankinen, they're fighting over second. And then we've got this other battle going on, this one I'm watching at the moment. That's Manos and Alexei. They're still nose to tail. This has been going on now for 2 or 3 laps since they exited the pits. There's a little bit of a gap opened up between Craig and Twamus, but Alexei is not giving Manos any breathing space whatsoever.
They both won that bottom step of the podium, and they're both going to try as hard as they can to get it. I'm sure there's no love lost, though, after that little bit of contact in the pit lane. Spirichev will be trying his hardest to get past Papangiolu, probably thinking he was disadvantaged from the incident, and he probably was. He did lose a little bit of time, which dropped him behind Papangiolu instead of being able to run side by side on that pit exit. Not what you really want at Silverstone. He's piling the pressure on the ear of Manos Papangiolu here on the exit of the first few corners. He's going to hunt to the straight, going to try and get the slipstream and make an overtake maybe down into Brooklands.
Now, Ali Ferry was in the lead until just a few moments ago. She's done her pit stop, and I was interested to see where she came out of the pits. She's come out in 8th place, which is pretty much where she was, I think. She was in that battle with Theo van der Brink and Paul Galagale and Ronnie Van Rouge, and that's where she is at the moment, although she has dropped back about 3 to 4 seconds behind Theo and Paul Legale. Incidentally, Theo and Paul Legale, they are really battling hard. Theo is still holding on to 6th place. He's yet to pit, I think, and neither has Paul Legale, close behind, just 3 points separating those two. Oh, you both pitted. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Apologies for the incorrect information. So Theo and Paul both pitted. They are just 2 tenths apart. Paul tucked into that slipstream behind Theo van der Brink. A little cheeky look to the inside, but Theo's not going to fall for that dummy move. Nobody runs wide. The distraction maybe of the car appearing as rear view mirrors, but it keeps it all under control as they head through the fast sequence of corners. Feathering the throttle ever so slightly for Theo van der Brink, and then back onto the straight. This will take it into a very fast right-hand corner, leading them into the heavy braking zone. Takes them through the chicane and onto the start-finish straight. Paul Legale tucked in close. Can he keep with Theo around that corner? The front end grip clearly showing, the loss of front end grip clearly showing there. And Craig Patterson set a new fastest lap time there, Joe. 1:54.8 for Craig Patterson.
Yeah, and earlier on through this lap, I saw that Spirichev was able to get past and up the inside of Papanjalo, but after a good attack back, Papanjalo was immediately able to get back up to position, and he only holds on to third, and there's actually a little bit of a gap between the two drivers now up for that podium position.
Yeah, Tuamas is still holding on to second place. Craig out in the lead. Manos Papanjalou in a third, and Alexei Spirichev in fourth. I guess the main change that we've seen is that Tuamas, was in third place, I think, and Manos was in second. So after the pit strategy has played out, Tuamas has picked up a position. Manos has so far lost out on a place. Possibly due to that battle that raged between him and Alexei for quite some time, probably costing both Manos and Alexei a few tenths over a number of laps. For your early predictions, Joe, when the drivers lined up on the grid and we were discussing who we thought people to watch, how's that played out for you? Have the drivers that you thought might be the ones to watch, has that played out? I guess certainly up front, those lead drivers are pretty much been the ones we thought might well be there.
Yeah, there are a few drivers obviously who haven't panned out the way that I thought. Dan O'Neill got involved in the incident on the opening lap. He's currently running in 10th, which is not too bad actually, for bearing in mind he was involved quite heavily in that opening lap incident, but he's continuing on in 10th position just ahead of Johnny Stratos, who's running around in 11th. Stratos, another driver that I thought was going to do rather well, but he's battling for top 10 at the moment. And then just behind that 12th position, Steve Legale. I still think he might be able to get a top 10 if he just sort of keeps it consistent. He's really good at doing that, keeps it clean, and we may see a few drivers up ahead making some mistakes, allowing him up into the top 10. But overall, I think most drivers keeping their predictions true and keeping around rather well. But Paul Legale trying to get up the inside of Theo. Theo's lost the rear end into that final section of corners. Wasn't able to do it, but they're still rather close heading across the line.
Indeed, this is a great battle between Theo and Paul Legale. I'm not sure where Theo qualified, but I think it wasn't 6th place, so he's 10th.
Oh, big mistake by Paul. Is he able to hold it?
No!
Oh, he goes around, no.
Oh, whatever, Paul.
You outskilled me.
Oh, come on! I hope it wasn't commentating Kurtz for a second time, Paul. But that was great battles that we were watching.
No, it's just pushing too hard, really, to try and do something.
It was a great battle we were watching there, Joe, wasn't it, between Theo and Paul? Some really nice racing, very clean, very action-packed.
Definitely. And how have all the drivers panned out from the ones you predicted to do well tonight, then, Jim?
Well, my favourite driver, Thomas Lankinen, once again, he has made me proud.
You guys take it home.
He's qualified at 7th. He's up into second at the moment. He is not quite battling with Craig Patterson, but Craig is not driving into the distance as he's sometimes able to do these FTs. He's a very skilled driver, is Craig Patterson. And but today at Silverstone, a track that Craig was very interested in us driving, but yeah, he hasn't maybe pulled out the lead that he sometimes is able to do. But that's good for us and good for the viewers, because that's meant we've had regular battles up the front, where more often than not the leader is just being consistent at being out all on their own.
Yeah, it's been a really good battle up at front. So unfortunately, it has started to separate here, but not as much as, like you say, we've seen in previous races. It's still definitely within a recovery position within this final 13 minutes. Like, Thomas Lankinen definitely can move up into the lead. If Patterson makes a single mistake, it could change the positions around. And just behind Papanjalo Spirichev, they're still rather close here in that battle for P number 3. And once again, one tiny mistake can change positions.
Now, a driver we haven't really mentioned at all tonight, Bart's very often very quick, but he's down in 13th place at the moment. I'm not sure what's happened to Bart. I think, was he involved in the early stages
took him out on the first lap.
Okay, thank you, Matt, for the honesty. Yeah, Bart fighting his way up through the grid then. He's up into 13th place, which is certainly respectable if you've had an early race incident. He's got Steve Legale just a few tenths up ahead, so that could well be a fight worth watching for a lap or two. Steve Gallet in 12th, Bart Zoink in 13th. And we briefly mentioned drivers that we thought might do well. Olivier Lewis was one where he qualified in 12th, and
Shit.
Theo's made a mistake. What happened, Theo?
Oh, my game stuck for a couple of seconds, so...
Oh no, did it end up with the car buried in the wall or something as a result?
No, luckily not, but I missed a few seconds, so I lost a few positions.
Yes, I can see
No,
you down
11th.
down to 11th. Yeah, that's quite a few positions. Real shame, Theo, because you were having some great great pace. It's a big shame. But yeah, Olivier Lewis, I was just mentioning, Joe, he was a driver I thought might improve on his good position. He, I think, if I recall, was 12th on the grid, up into 5th at the moment, so a nice improvement there for Olivier Lewis. Ali Ferry, she's doing very well in the F3 tonight. She's up to 6th place as well. Ronnie Van Rouge is trying hard not to let her get away. Just 2 seconds separating those two drivers.
As Craig Patterson puts in yet another fastest lap, and the gap between the leaders is just increasing now. Patterson, I think, has finally found his rhythm, and he's sort of running away with the lead in the late stages of the race. 11 minutes to go, and if he can keep it clean, I think he can hold on to that lead.
Now, mid-field battle's kind of setting itself up here. That's Dan O'Neill in 8th place, Johnny Stratheros in 9th, and they are separated by just 6/10. Paul Gallet is not far behind either, just a second or so back. And we know Paul's got pace if he can keep it all pointing in the right direction, so he might get involved in that fight. But Dan O'Neill, he's in 8th place at the moment. A little bit of smoke from the car ahead, which would be Ronnie Van Rouge. So far, Dan is keeping things very tidy. I haven't seen, we haven't given much stream time. I can only guess that he's kept things all clean and pointing in the right direction. So, yeah, Dan in 8th, Johnny 4 tenths behind. What do you reckon? Is Johnny going to be able to catch up and put a move on? Joe, what do you think?
He's definitely close enough to make a move. He's right over the rear here, so we might see a move within maybe the next lap or so. Paul Gallet going slightly wide through Brooklands there, but he's kept on the circuit, and he's going to try and keep it as clean as possible and catch up to these drivers just in front, because if Dan O'Neill and Johnny Strathworth start battling, it means that Paul Gallet will be able to close that gap and get involved.
Yeah! Go Pip, go Pip.
Oh, fan club here.
What's up?
Of course. It's a very, what's the phrase I'm looking for? Very selective membership of this fan club. No, we wish, obviously, all drivers we wish the best of luck, and Paul Gallet certainly had a good race. I mean, he's not maybe got the position that he would have hoped for at this stage of the race, but he's had some great battles so far in the first 35 minutes. We've got just 9.5 minutes left on the clock now. The drivers are just trying to settle down into that final zone to get themselves to the end. 45 minutes of pinpoint accuracy turn after turn to keep the lap times consistent is no small feat whatsoever. Craig Patterson has kept it all together. He's out in the lead, and after the pit stop strategy, he appears to be pulling out a little bit of a gap, as Joe was saying earlier. That's hovering around 3 seconds, or approaching 3 seconds at the moment. Tuomas Lankinen, he is in 2nd place, and he has Manos Papangelou approximately 2 seconds, or just under 2 seconds further back. Alexei Spirichev is behind Manos in 4th place. Those lead 4 all definitely got opportunity to make a change in their position in the closing stages of this race, but at the moment they all seem to have settled into the groove and are maybe hoping one of the other drivers will make a mistake, as it really is rather hard to overtake around this circuit.
Yes, it certainly is. As Johnny Strathworth is still trying to get past Dan O'Neill, and he's still over the rear. Paul Gallet has definitely been able to close up behind, though. He's obviously got double slipstream instead of just a single slipstream that Strathworth have on O'Neill. O'Neill has absolutely no cars directly in front of him to help him benefit, as Strathworth actually looked for the inside into the old turn 1. My camera's not changing, but he's not been able to get past at the moment to head up to the Maggots and Beckett's complex. If he can keep this smooth, we may see an overtake along the very, very long straights. He's going to be trying to get as much ships as he can, but he wobbles the rear end of the car coming through here, and he gets out clean as he can. They're getting around a back marker there. That is Fallon moving out of the way. As they all
We're going to see an
along.
overtake here, Joe. He's going to pull to the
Yeah,
inside.
well, he's going to try and make as much room as he possibly can, and he's been able to do it. My word, that was close as contact. Oh, and Paul Legale has been able to thread the needle. Wow, what an avoidance by Paul Legale there.
It was a shame that contact was certainly not deliberate. Dan O'Neill and Johnny there, just a little bit of contact, significantly over the racing line on the marbles. It's a shame that there was contact that was shaken up to a nice battle. But Johnny takes 10th place. Dan will be frustrated.
Where are you, Johnny? Come here.
Yeah, you're back. Let's resume that battle. But yeah, Johnny takes 10th place for the moment. 7 minutes on the clock. Dan will be hoping to try and close up. Theo is in front of Johnny, so we'll have to see if Dan can close that gap in the closing minutes of the race. Second place is heating up just ever so slightly, Joe. That's Tuomas, Lankinen and Manos. They're now down to under a second separating them, which means Manos. Oh, Tuomas made a mistake. Thanks, Tuomas, for the information. So, yeah, Manos hoping now, I think, to get into the slipstream, which he might be able to, with a gap of just 7 or so tenths as they enter into the log straight after Maggots and Beckett's. Looking at the split times, yes, it is ever so slightly closing that gap between Manos and Tuomas. Maybe Manos is picking up a little bit of slipstream, maybe has a lower wing setup. And then the braking zone into the final chicane. If you can get this right, you can pick up a few tenths or so. Tuomas not as close to the apex as he maybe would have wanted on the first part. The second part of the chicane, very tardy indeed. Now just 5 tenths separating Tuomas and Manos.
I'm sweating like a pig.
Yeah.
5 minutes 37 seconds on the clock now. Once again, Manos is closed under the rear wing of Tuomas through this twisty section. Now, Tuomas made a really good pit stop, Joe. Do you reckon he took all 4 tyres, or do you reckon he maybe saved a little bit of time by only taking a pair?
I'm actually not too sure what all the drivers did, because they definitely were. 2 benefits, this is contact! Oh no, Manos just braking a little bit too late. He's punted Tuomas Lankinen off, but they've both got back onto the circuit. Papangelo allowing Lankinen back onto the track in front of him, and Spirichev has now moved up into 3rd position, is looking for a 2nd position.
Yeah, that's exactly what we like to see. If there's a little bit of contact, unintentional mistake there for Manos. A little
Yeah, give the position back.
Exactly. Yeah, great guys. Yeah, Alexei the Gator, he wasn't involved in any of that contact, so rightfully so, he can keep that pedal firmly planted. But Manos doing the right thing. Looks like, I think, just maybe outbroke himself and was made sure that Tuomas didn't lose position on himself. Anyway, Tuomas still in 2nd. Alexei now, he gets to get really involved in this battle. In the closing stages, 4.5 minutes left in this race.
Yes, that's cool, Manos. Thank you.
We've got Craig Patterson out in the lead. He's got a nice bit of breathing space. Well done, Craig. You're not getting much screen time, though, because this battle for 2nd is really heating up. It's a 3-way battle due to that mistake, that little bit of contact between Manos and Tuomas. But for the viewers, that's just made the excitement even more.
Hi, Dad! That's nice.
There's a little bit more contact by the look of it between Papangelo and Spirichev. There's again Papangelo just outbraking himself, looking to the inside, going into club, but he's allowed Spirichev through, and there was definitely a glitch there, some sort of internet connection issue for Spirichev, and it's meant Papangelo has just flown right into the rear, and they've both now lost a little bit of time. Yeah, it definitely looked like Alexei just sort of stopped on the circuit, and then that was when Papangelo had nowhere to go, just slammed straight into him. They're still battling for 3rd position though, with 3 minutes to go, but that's definitely eased up the pressure on Tuomas Lankinen.
Indeed, Manos.
Do I have front wing?
You have a front wing, Manos. Yes, I don't think that was brake supply, or anything like that. That was some sort of internet lag, and obviously with you tucked into the rear wing of Alexei, I'm not sure exactly why that happened, but yeah, you had nowhere to go. It certainly wasn't well, I can't be 100% certain, but it didn't look like a brake application from Alexei. It looked like a little bit of network, like very unusual. I've never seen that before in any race.
he just suddenly stopped. There was no sort of slowing down at all. He just stopped. He just froze in the circuit.
big shame for Manos, literally nowhere to go, but fortunately it looks like his car is intact and he's certainly, well, I'm hoping he's able to keep that pace going. Manos, have you got damage? Is it going in a straight line, sir?
I don't know, probably.
Probably. Well, we've just got 2.5 minutes left on the clock. It's a real shame.
Yeah, I can drive, but it's not maximum pace.
Doesn't feel quite right. So it's a real shame with the closing moment, but what could have been such a great battle looks like it may not end up being so due to a networking glitch. So as far as I can tell, that's what the cause was.
I thought he braked on purpose, but if you say it was a glitch, then okay.
From our point of view, it looked much more like the car literally just hesitated for a second. It wasn't like a slowing down, and literally on my screen, I was watching this on my computer, the same as Joe, and just as he said the network glitch, that was exactly my thoughts as well, that his car seemed to just pause for a moment.
What does he say?
I don't know, he's not on TeamSpeak, so I can't tell you, Manos.
There's a nice battle going on for 7th, 8th and 9th.
Thank you very much, Craig. Yeah, Joe, what's going on in 7th, 8th and 9th, sir?
Yeah, we got Van Rouge here ahead of Paul Legale and Theo Vandenbrink. They're trying to sort of, well, Paul and Theo trying to get up some positions. Theo makes a little bit of a mistake, then Paul runs wide. I think they're getting a little bit of pressure now on the stream with only a minute and a half going here. But yes, with only 1.5 minutes to go, I think that's, well, 1 lap, is it? Or 2, depending on where Craig is going to be.
I think they'll get 2, yeah. 10th place is also one to watch out for. That's Dan O'Neill and Bart Vank. They're just a 10th or so separating those 2 drivers. Dan O'Neill in the black car with the red highlights. Bart Vank in the orange car, or orange-nosed car. And looks like there's going to be a number of battles as they head towards that start-finish line, Joe. It literally is going to be down to, I think, who can get tucked into the slipstreams and who can survive without making a mistake.
And in the final stages of a race, the pressure is completely on, definitely when you are this close to someone else, and that's why we've seen a few mistakes happen over the past couple of laps, and now with only 1.5 laps to go for most of these drivers, it's going to be even more pressure.
Now, Craig Padson, he's been out in the lead for some time. We haven't given him much screen time, but he's out in the lead. Thomas Lankinen in 2nd. He's got a little bit of breathing space as well. Alexei in 3rd. Manos in 4th place. 5th place is Olivier Lewis. Ali Ferry in 6th. Ronnie Van Rouge in 7th. Paul Legale in 8th. Theo van den Brink in 9th. Bart Zwerink and Dan O'Neill, who are battling. That's 10th and 11th place. They are, yes, I think, well, Bart Zwerink has managed to find his way past Dan O'Neill. So Bart up into 10th. But Dan's not given up, just getting ever so slightly on the marbles there, and the gap has now opened up between that pair of drivers. 7th, 8th and 9th, I think, is where the action is at the moment. Ronnie Van Rouge, Paul Legale, Theo van der Brink. Paul featuring in so much of our stream tonight, despite the odd mistake. He seems to have had a real fun-packed night of driving.
Yeah, and he might be able to get...
again.
Paul might be able to get up the inside of turn number 1. He tries it, just can't keep the speed in there, and it's a little bit of a wobble now. Theo's going to try and get involved, but here goes Paul up the inside of Van Rouge, side by side into turn number 3, giving each other enough room. There's a little bit of a tap, a little bit of a wobble from Paul. He tries to hold it on the outside though.
And Theo battling with the car behind as he gains momentum from the battle that's ahead of him, but nearly loses the control of the car through that first couple of corners there. This has turned into a three-way battle, real exciting. I think this is the last lap, Joe.
Me, it ain't.
Yeah, it's going to be the last lap. Paul takes the lead in this battle, but he wobbles it slightly, and Van Rouge is back again, and again another slide by Paul Legale, but he holds it on the inside line. They're running side by side, and Paul Legale comes out on top in 7th position. Now Theo is going to be over the rear, going to try and take advantage of the 2 cars that are battling directly in front of him.
This ain't my last lap, is it?
This is not, Greg saying this is not his last lap, so this could go on for one more lap after this. We'll have to see when they cross that start-finish line, but yeah, they head down into Beckett's and Maggots, weaving the car around those corners. Theo in the background taking a lot of curb. Paul Legale keeping it really under control and coming out, I think, the best on that sequence. Got the long straight there, and I think Theo is the only one that's going to be gaining from
No, it's not the final lap.
No, it's not.
I think it's one more to go. Manos, don't tell me you're low on fuel, sir.
No,
No, I'm not. He
Electric
just
start.
braked to celebrate the finish, and
Oh, no.
I just overtook you.
Oh, no, there's another lap to go, I think.
I'm on my last
But
lap
anyway,
now.
I will get disqualified, so...
I don't think... Yeah, you shouldn't get disqualified providing you didn't do any
I have a
penalty
penalty.
points.
The last lap.
Oh,
Are you going to drive through? You can... I'm not sure exactly what happens. You may
I think
get...
you might get. I think you might get DQ'd if you don't take it.
No, I
I
think you
will,
get...
I will.
No, I thought you got a time added to if you finished the race without exceeding
I think you lose a
the
lap.
You
It
lose
puts
a
down
lap, do you? Oh, such
I
a
believe.
shame, Manos, such a shame.
It's alright,
I think
anyway.
I-
I know I finished third, so...
I'm not going to
I
get
don't
it.
take any
I'm gonna
points
go
for that.
drive through.
Manos, don't serve it. I'm going to search. I'm going to take admin rules and I'm going to search the command to get rid of that penalty if I can. Do not take that penalty. I'll do my best to get rid of it before you cross that
Alright,
start.
but I have
finish line,
like
sir.
6
Can I
quarters
run my
left.
time back as well from people crashing?
Yes, I'll do that as well. Yes, all your time back goes. Let's see if we can get rid of that code. As it was due to just a celebration, he should have been paying attention, but it's a shame to see the race decided due to such a simple mistake.
Yes.
Right, I'm near the end.
Yeah, Greg Patterson coming into the final few corners now. After 25 laps, he is going to take from the pole. He's going to take the win. That was a lovely little battle for the lead of this race throughout most of the race. Come the pit stops, though, Thomas Lankin just wasn't able to keep up with Patterson as Craig crosses the line. Then going to take a lovely victory. And he swerves across the line. He celebrates on the correct lap. Thomas Lankin comes to cross the line, though, in second
Well done,
position. So very,
good
very
one,
good
Craig.
for him as well.
Yeah, grazie.
Manos Papagnolo, they're going to come across the line in third position with the penalty, and in fourth is going to be handed to that was actually handed to Lewis because Spirichev celebrated just a few meters early, handing the position to Lewis. So change on the line there. Ali Ferry, though, an amazing run and going to finish in sixth position. Paul Legale, after many incidents, he's going to come across the line in a very respectable seventh position, followed by Van Rouge just behind. A bit of incident there with the celebrating Paul Legale. An amazing finish there throughout all drivers. Parts Rings is going to slam right into the side of Paul. A huge incident there. As Paul is going absolutely everywhere bar the right direction in his car.
My first podium.
Oh, that was hard work. Well done, guys. Nice one, Craig and everyone up front.
Cheers.
It was hard.
Yeah, well done, Craig, Thomas, and Manos.
I think, has everybody finished? Has everybody crossed that line, have they? I don't want to
Franz and Dennis.
Dennis, I just
Just wait.
give those guys a moment.
Oh, unbelievable.
That was hard work. Really
Yeah.
hard work.
Yeah.
Indeed it was.
Sweaty Betty now.
You liked it.
Oh God.
It
Oh,
puts you to a challenge today. First time. History has been made.
Well, yeah.
Well, that was a great race, guys. Wouldn't you agree, Joe?
Oh, much agreed. A lot of battling there and an amazing race indeed.
And what I think made it particularly distinctive is it was battles throughout the field. It wasn't just at the front or the middle or the tail end. It was throughout the field. There was races going on between drivers. Craig Patterson brought it home in the lead. Thomas Lankin in second, up from seventh. Manos Papagnolo in third. Olivier Lewis fourth. Alexei Spirichev in fifth. Ali Ferry in sixth place. A really nice finish for Ali. Paul Legale in seventh. Ronnie Van Rouge in eighth. Theo brings home ninth, and Bart Zoink is in 10th. Dan O'Neill 11th. Johnny Stathiros 12th. 13th for Steve Legale. An improvement on his start position, I believe. Steve Kenwood in 14th. 15th is Jean-Pierre Père. Ludberto in 16th. 17th was Franz van der Linden. Dennis Phelan is the last of our drivers to complete the full race. Dennis Phelan in 18th. Matt Legale is a DNF. Sven Arne Andersen was as well. It was a really exciting race. A really good one to commentate on. Guys, before we end the stream, any suggestions for next week's race? And then the viewers will know what we might be racing with. Brands Hatch, I think we've got scheduled in. Is that right? Brands Hatch. I should know.
Well, you did say Brands Hatch.
I did. I think we'll go with Hatch, the GP version of the circuit.
Nice.
Joe, I'll let you a little bit of publicity for the fourth, or for the future rather, streams coming up, and then you can wrap up the event.
Yep, got a number of events coming up in the next few days. Obviously, the next stream that we're going to be doing is on Friday, and that is the Mazda MX-5s at Le Mans on Assetto Corsa. But on Saturday, we have 2 league events being brought to you. We have one here on Automobilista, and that'll be the touring cars. That's round number 5, the penultimate round of the season, and that'll be at about midday on GMT time. And then also in the evening, we have the IndyCar, the Grand Prix Championships running here at Silverstone, and that will be in the evenings. And on Sunday, we have once again our Race Room Sundays, probably one of the more popular events alongside the Formula 3 running. So let's thank you very much for joining us here. I hope you have enjoyed. I'm sure all of our drivers have enjoyed it as well. Thank you very much, and let's all say goodbye to the stream.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Should
Awesome. Thank you. Well done.